Let's dive right into this explainer, shall we? We're heading down into our 16-bit retro lab to uncover the hidden secrets of cellular aging and, honestly, some of the deep ocean's most immortal creatures. Welcome, everyone. Today we're taking a journey way below the surface. We're talking about those mysterious, icy depths where the normal rules of time and aging just seem to vanish. We're going to explore the astonishing biology of creatures that have, quite literally, hacked the biological clock.
So, I gotta ask you, do you believe a biological cheat code for infinite life actually exists? You know, for centuries, humanity has searched for the fountain of youth, basically treating aging as this unavoidable absolute. But as we look at the wonders hidden deep down within our seas and oceans, you really start to wonder if nature has already written a code for timeless miracles. Now, to understand how these creatures achieve the impossible, we first need to understand the mechanics of how our own bodies experience aging.
Think of human biology kind of like a classic arcade game. And right here, we've got the ultimate game over mechanic, cellular senescence. See, our normal somatic cells, those are the cells that make up most of our bodies, they're programmed with a hard limit. They can only divide about 40 times. That's it. With every single division, a tiny piece of their genetic information is lost. And once they hit that 40 division limit, boom, they lose critical data, enter a state of aging or senescence, and essentially hit game over. They just can't divide anymore. But what if you could somehow bypass that limit?
We'll enter the ultimate molecular machine. It's called telomerase. Discovered back in 1985 by a team of brilliant biologists, who actually later won the Nobel Prize for this, telomerase is the literal cheat code to infinite cellular life. Here's how it works. We have these protective caps called telomeres sitting right at the end of our chromosomes. Every time a cell divides, those caps get a little bit shorter, but telomerase? It's an enzyme that actually rebuilds those protective caps. It adds a very specific sequence of DNA, TTAGGG, right back onto the tips. It essentially rewinds the clock.
Notice the difference in their biological health bars here. Over on the left, a normal cell loses its DNA tips with every division until it just can't function properly anymore. Its health is depleting. But on the right, armed with active telomerase, an immortal cell continuously rebuilds its DNA. Its health bar literally never drops. And out in the wild, specifically down in the darkest depths of the ocean, there are actual organisms that utilize this exact mechanic. So, we're going to count them down today, from the lowest level of longevity to the absolute pinnacle of biological immortality.
All right, let's kick off our top 5 countdown and descend into the icy abyss. Level 5, the Greenland Shark.
Swimming around in the freezing waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, this creature lives life at an incredibly slow, deliberate pace. And by doing that, it survives for an astonishing 400 years. I mean, this mind-blowing estimated lifespan makes it a true ancient survivor of the deep seas. Now, while they aren't completely immortal, reaching an age of 4 centuries means there are sharks swimming out there today that were literally born before the invention of the telescope. Their secret lies in an incredibly slow metabolism in those frigid environments that just perfectly preserve their biology. But as we move up our countdown, the level of immortality is only going to get more intense.
So let's move to level 4 and see how this builds. Level 4, the sea urchin.
Now, you might just see a spiky ball sitting on the ocean floor, right? But biologists at Oregon University have discovered that these red sea dwellers are hiding a phenomenal secret when it comes to the aging process. They can easily live over 2 centuries. But here's the real kicker. They would actually live much longer, perhaps even indefinitely, if humans didn't consider them such a delicious delicacy, or, if they weren't hunted by other predators. Their biological clock just simply doesn't tick the way ours does.
Get this, the sea urchin never actually ages. It only grows larger over time. And unlike almost every other animal on Earth, older sea urchins don't become frail. Actually, it's the opposite. Their reproductive quality improves with age. So the older they are, the higher quality offspring they produce. Plus, if they lose a body part or an organ to a predator or some accident, they can flawlessly regenerate it. They are, for all intents and purposes, functionally ageless.
Descending even further into the deep, we reach level 3, the giant lobster.
Famous for being a seafood staple, lobsters are practically a masterclass in defying time. Just to put it in perspective, 20 kilograms is the massive weight of the largest recorded lobster. Because they don't experience typical biological aging, their age can really only be measured by their ever-increasing size. They just keep eating, molting, and growing larger and heavier.
So here's the crucial point. Lobsters constantly use that telomerase cheat code we talked about earlier.
Their bodies continuously produce active telomerase, which endlessly renews their DNA. They entirely escape natural biological aging. A lobster doesn't actually die of old age. It only dies if it catches a disease, gets caught by a predator, or, and this is wild, if it grows so large that it literally lacks the metabolic energy required to molt its massive shell. Otherwise, it just keeps on growing.
All right, for level 2 of our countdown, we're bringing the deep dive right back to the human body. Level 2, immortal human cells.
See, we don't have to look to the bottom of the ocean to find biological immortality. We just have to look through a microscope at our own biology. And it perfectly illustrates a double-edged sword. Inside us, our germ cells and stem cells have high telomerase levels, which is great because it allows them to bypass that 40 division limit and keep our tissues repairing. However, dangerous cancer cells also hijack this exact same enzyme. By turning on telomerase, cancer cells achieve this incredibly destructive immortality, allowing them to divide infinitely and form tumors. Understanding this mechanism is the absolute key to both curing cancer and, potentially, unlocking future anti-aging therapies for humans.
And because cancer relies so heavily on this cheat code, medical science is fighting back. Right now, scientists are running clinical trials on advanced inhibitors like imeltastat. This is designed to specifically block telomerase in cancer cells. Think about it. If we can turn off their cheat code, we can strip them of their immortality and force them to hit that game over state. It is such a fascinating area of medical research, really bridging the gap between studying cellular aging and fighting deadly diseases.
Finally, we have reached the ultimate boss level of our countdown. Level 1, the Immortal Jellyfish.
If the previous creatures hacked the system to live longer, this tiny, unassuming ocean dweller has thrown the rulebook entirely out the window. Turritopsis nutricula defies the laws of nature by completely avoiding natural death. While lobsters and sea urchins prevent aging by maintaining their DNA, this jellyfish does something way more radical. It has mastered the art of infinite rebirth.
Let's just walk through its Benjamin Button-like life cycle for a second. First, the jellyfish matures, mates, and reproduces, just like a normal organism. But instead of growing old and dying afterward, it triggers an astonishing process. It reverts all of its existing specialized body cells right back into unspecialized stem cells. And from there, it completely regenerates its organs and literally restarts its life cycle from the very beginning as a young polyp. It's not just living a long time, it is hitting the reset button on its own life, over and over again, endlessly renewing itself. Well, unless it gets eaten by a predator, of course.
Nature's secrets truly are stranger, and honestly more incredible than fiction. From sharks that outlive centuries to jellyfish that literally reset their own lives, the deep sea holds the ultimate keys to understanding longevity. If you enjoyed uncovering these mysterious biological secrets with me today, please make sure to subscribe to the Zero Facts channel and hit that like button to support our explainers. Now, I really want to hear from you. If you could have the immortal powers of just one of these creatures, the relentless growth of the lobster, the slow endurance of the shark, or the infinite rebirth of the jellyfish, which would you choose and why? Let me know your answers in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and keep exploring the unknown.